Oh my god. Shout out to Rashid, Joshua, Gilbert, Thurman. Alright, let me begin the video again.
According to this theory, the outside world, other people, objects, and events cannot be definitely proven to exist beyond your own perception. This
Exactly, like it can't be 100% proven because we're seeing everything from our perspective, not everybody else's perspective.
is because all experiences are subjective, meaning they are understood through your individual mind. So while you may see and interact with the world, solipsism questions if the world actually exists on its own, or if it's all just created by your mind. You have
Exactly.
no way to know. The teletransportation paradox. The teletransportation paradox is a thought experiment that explores the implications of teleportation and identity. Imagine a teleportation device that scans a person's entire body and mind, mapping every atom and neural connection. The device then transmits this information to another location, where a new identical body is constructed.
Isn't that just cloning? Like, isn't that what they? Well, oh no, that's not like 100% confirmed. That's not 100% confirmed. But isn't that what like that is supposedly done? Like, like now, of course, I'm not gonna lie. I don't believe that when people say like, "Oh yeah, these celebrities are getting cloned and stuff like that." I used to when I was back in my like my conspiracy days, my theory days. I was talking about the Illuminati every single day and CIA and all that other stuff. But like, I don't believe that they could like clone a person. Like, I believe that they can clone them and then like, but it's like first off, that clone has to has a conscience, and I think everybody has an individual conscience. Now he's gonna have a brain, but it's just like like I don't know because it's just like it's gonna copy its cells, its DNA, but is it like going to be alive? Like that's my questions. If it was true, I don't believe it. I don't believe it is, because I don't know. I think like they created something to copy every celebrity, every person's DNA, just to copy it. But I don't think they actually like cloned people. Now, of course, I could be proven wrong, but I don't know. How did it get muted?
Memories, and personality. The paradox arises when considering what happens during this process. Is the person who arrives at the destination the same individual who entered the teleportation machine? If the original person is disassembled at the point of departure, is that person effectively killed? If so, then the new person created at the destination, while identical in every way, is technically a different individual. The egg theory. The egg theory is a thought experiment that suggests that every person who has ever lived or ever will live is actually
Did you know that you can form a
Yes, I'm
Florida
broke.
LLC
I'm
for
broke. I'm broke.
$0 plus state fees?
I
It's
know
really
I'm
easy
broke. I
using
know
Zen
I'm
Business.
broke.
the same being, experiencing life in different forms and at different times. The theory proposes that when a person dies, they are reincarnated as another person without any memory of their previous lives. This process continues until that being has lived every human life in existence. According to the theory, the universe exists as an egg, a place for this single being to grow and mature through the experience of living many lives. Once all
Yo, that would be interesting, bro. Like, imagine, like, me, like, listening right now. Like, I'm just a life form that is just gonna get reincarnated inside of every single other life. I don't think so, cause even if that was true, well, that could go inside of like another theory where, like this, the Matrix theory, where everything is like revolved out of you and everything is fake. But I don't believe it, cause it's just like, of course, it could go to evidence like we all are know our own consciousness, and not anybody else's consciousness, of course. But it's just like I don't know because it's like I believe like I don't believe it. Well, I'm gonna say this real quick. I think people can get reincarnated. Nah, I don't know, cause nobody knows what happened when you die. So it's kind of like, dang, like I'm just dead. Like I'm just dead. Like you're not. The scientific version of death is like you're not even gonna know you're dead. Your brain shuts down and nothing, literally nothing. Like you don't even know you're dead. You're not gonna know nothing. You don't have no consciousness no more. But I think people have a soul. Now, of course, people have brains that leads to actions, and I know that without the brain, you can't function right. But I think everybody has a soul, that will be given to God one day. But this is an interesting theory, though.
Lives have been lived, the individual reaches a higher state of consciousness and becomes like a god, completing their spiritual evolution. Just as the universe, in this theory, is designed for growth and evolution, so too is every business. In my opinion, you can't really manage to do so efficiently without today's sponsor, Odoo. Odoo is a
W sponsors. You wanna know who I got this from? Fly. Let's skip them. Let's skip them. We love them, but we have to skip them. I'm not getting no money off of this, so you can't too. No, I'm trolling. W sponsor, but not for me.
Omnipotence paradox for sponsoring today's video. The omnipotence paradox. The omnipotence paradox is a thought experiment that challenges the concept of omnipotence, or unlimited power. It asks whether an all-powerful being like God could create a stone so heavy that even they cannot lift it. The dilemma arises because both possible answers seem to limit the being's power. If the being can create the stone, they cannot lift it, which means there's something they cannot do. This implies a limit to their power, contradicting the idea of being all-powerful. On the other hand, if they cannot create such a stone, this also indicates a limitation, as they are
I understand this. So it's basically saying that the creator can't, like, God can't do, or, like, fix, or, what's the word for it? Removed or fixed what he has created. Or changed. Which I think is kind of right and wrong, because I think God gave everybody free will to an extent. Well, yeah, free will. God gave everybody free will. So it's like, yeah. Now, of course, I believe that he sees our past in different ways. But I think if God is the creator, it's a possibility that everything that he creates he can't control, but it's also a possibility that everything that he creates he can control. Because I can create the world's most heaviest piece of metal, and then I can create the world's most heaviest stone, but I'm not going to be able to pick it up because I'm the creator. But I'm the creator, right? But I'm not going to be able to pick it up. So I can believe it on that standpoint. But if you're going to go to a higher level, I think somebody that creates something of that high power could control it, or I don't know, because it's like, I don't know, because it's like God gave us all free will, so it's like he can't control us. He can see what we can do, but he can't control us, like, so it's kind of like I see it both ways. Well, more the way where he can't control everything, but he sees everything. you know I can see it both ways, because he can't control everything. He sees everything is reasonable. But on the other side, like, he can control everything and he sees everything. Because first off, God created the whole entire universe. So if God created the whole entire universe and he let everything have like free will, I think he could control it if he wanted to. Well, I don't think that. I think because I don't. It's like a higher being. Like, you can't really understand a higher being of that caliber. So it's kind of like, yeah, I can't understand it, but I can see both sides.
unable to do something that should be within the scope of omnipotence. But God might be over logic itself. Or one might say that by omnipotent, we mean a being that can do anything that is logically possible. Being all-powerful doesn't mean doing logically impossible things like creating a square circle. It means having power over everything that exists. Logical impossibilities, like a square circle, aren't real things that can exist, so it remains just a cool debunked thought experiment.
My
Yes, I
university
know,
major
I'm
required
broke.
a lot
I'm
of writing,
broke.
like essays, discussion posts,
I'm
and a lot of
broke.
papers.
I ain't broke.
Natalism. Antinatalism is a philosophical position that argues against giving birth, suggesting that it is morally wrong to bring new individuals into existence because life itself inherently involves suffering, pain, and hardship. So it is better not to create new lives that will inevitably face these challenges.
That's not true. Okay, first off, if we don't create life, then there will be no life. So you wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't be here. I think everything in this world wouldn't be here if life wasn't created. So, yeah. But I would say this. Like, I would say this though, 100% true in facts that like there is going to be suffering, pain, and hardship in your life, but there's also going to be happiness, love, and forgiveness and achievement inside of your life as well. You know, if you play your cards right. Of course, now that's not going to be every person's life, but it's not 100% fact that everything that's on the screen right now is going to be your life 100%. You know, it just comes to a fact of what you want your life to be. Now, of course, you're not going to be able to control everything, but the things that you can control, what do you want to do with it? Like, what do you want to do with this opportunity? You know, so yeah.
One key argument in antinatalism is that coming into existence exposes individuals to more suffering than joy, making it not worth it. Additionally, some antinatalists point out the environmental and ethical implications of overpopulation, arguing that it contributes to suffering not just for individuals, but for society as a whole and the planet. You are not free. This theory about the absence of free will from human life suggests that individuals have the ability to make choices and take actions based on their desires. However, they do not have the ability to control the will behind any of their actions, thus making them a slave to their own desires. In order to prove this theory,
Like, wait, say that again? What you said?
and take actions of free will from human life suggests that individuals have the ability to make choices and take actions based on their desires. However, they do not have the ability to control the will behind any of their actions, thus making them a slave to their own desires. In order to prove this theory, the following thought experiment is proposed. If you're deciding between which ice cream flavor to pick, chocolate or vanilla, and end up deciding that you genuinely want chocolate, there is absolutely nothing you could do in that situation to change that desire, unless an external factor that you also cannot control is involved, such as
Oh, okay, I understand. Like, you can't control what you want. You can't control what you, like, desire. I understand that part. Because I can't control me. What? I can't control me wanting no. No, no, thick little John. I can't control me wanting some thick shit. I can't control me wanting a bad bitch. Sadly. Now, that hasn't happened yet. But shit, probably one day it might happen. Who knows? I don't. Who knows? I don't. Nah, but you know what I mean? Like, people, I would say people can control their what is it called? People can control their desires. Well, not their desires, but people can control their actions and their desires. Yeah, but they can't control like their will to want it. So it's like if I go out and I see something that I want, I've already wanted it. I've already My will has already wanted it, already desired it. I couldn't control that because I just naturally wanted it. Just like how everybody in this earth wants something or wants to have something or needs something. You know, like I need a toothbrush to brush my teeth every day. Like I need to I don't know, go to school every day because I gotta fuck school. Fuck school, sorry, I had to say that one time. But I have to go to school to get my education. That way I can go to college or, you know, come back home, stream to y'all because I like doing it. You know? So I think everybody has a desire to do something that we can't control. So when it comes to that matter of fact, yeah, we are not free from our own desires, but we are free to do whatever we want to do with our actions, if you know what I mean. You know?
is finding out that vanilla ice cream is cheaper or that it's not as unhealthy. This shows that the only way for you to do anything is by wanting to do it, which we already determined you cannot control, or by being forced to do it, which you obviously cannot control either, thus proving that free will does not exist. Ship of Theseus.
That's
The ship of
Nah, I think the free will does exist, but to well, that's kind of contradictory if I'm going to say that. Like, if I'm going to say this, like, free will exists for sure, but I believe that. How should I say this? I believe that the free will of wanting what you desire is not like something that you can control. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to always desire stuff, You know what I mean? I'm always gonna want something new, want something different. I just for me speaking, like I'm always want a Corvette. I'm always gonna want a Ferrari. I'm always gonna want an M4. You know, even if I said no, these cars are gonna waste my spending, I'm not gonna buy it. But I can't control it, like me wanting it. So I can understand that fact for sure, 100%.
Theseus is a philosophical thought experiment that questions the nature of identity and change. It begins with a ship owned by the hero Theseus, and over time, as the ship sails, its wooden parts decay and are replaced with new ones. Eventually, every original part is replaced, which leads to the central question: is the fully restored ship still the ship of Theseus? To complicate matters, suppose the original parts are gathered and reassembled into a ship. Now, there are two ships, one composed entirely of new materials, and one made of the original components. This scenario showcases how definitions are artificial and not as stable as we think. Does the ship retain its identity despite having all its parts replaced? Which ship is the true ship of Theseus? Ethical egoism. Ethical egoism is the philosophical theory that individuals should always act in their own self-interest and have no regard for the consequences of their actions on others.
Nah, I think that's what isn't it sociopathism? Because I think every person, almost every person that doesn't have what is it, social anxiety. It's something social like which leads to like being a sociopath. I think that everybody could do this, you know, not care about other people's feelings. But I think everybody's gonna have guilt to what they do to a certain extent, unless you just like you're just a sociopath that just doesn't care. You know, now of course I cannot care about different things in my life, like you know, like me taking out the trash, me I don't know, like me going outside, like I don't know, like some things I just don't care for. But like that's humans' emotions. I want to care for all the time. I don't. Yeah, I'm gonna care for humans' emotions all the time. Sadly, well, not sadly.
Others. This theory asserts that actions are only morally right if they benefit the individual performing them, emphasizing that values like sympathy and altruism were an idea constructed by weak individuals who could not assert themselves in society, so they had to make up an entire moral system to justify their incompetence. Ethical egoism argues that, like all other animals, we have a deep desire to secure our own survival, and we should not deny it or act against it, as it.
Okay. Well, yeah. Yeah, I understand that. Cause I'm gonna put me over anybody any day. You know. Well, nah. Of course I'm gonna put my family, but everybody else other than my family, I'm putting me over anybody any day. 100%. Now, of course, do I think I'm supposed to put myself over everybody any day? Yes. Cause I think every being is supposed to put their self over anybody any day. Cause if you're not caring about yourself, then if you're not caring about yourself, then you're not caring about others. Because what is a man that doesn't care about himself but cares about others? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, yeah, believe that.
Would be unnatural and damaging to do so. Furthermore, ethical egoists argue that by pursuing their own goals, individuals may also contribute positively to society, as their actions can lead to overall better outcomes for other people as well. Rocco's basilisk.
No, I believe that. I believe that a little bit. Cause like if you achieving a goal and you're gonna do it no matter what, and even if it hurts other people's feelings, then like that'll probably motivate another person to do the same thing, just to achieve his feelings. So yeah, I mess with that. I like that.
Rocco's basilisk is a thought experiment suggesting that a future artificial superintelligence could be motivated to punish or torture individuals.
And chat, after this reaction, I want to react to CJ's new video, and I'm probably gonna react to Bucket Hat Splash, not a new video, but a video, and then I'm gonna get on Where Winds Meet, and record that for my YouTube.
Who knew about the possibility of its existence, but did not actively help in bringing it into reality. The purpose of this punishment would be to incentivize people to support its development. Essentially, the AI might create virtual simulations where those who fail to assist in its creation are tortured. Esse est percipi. It means that everything only.
Oh yes,
In this
I know.
video,
I'm
I'm going
broke.
to be
I'm
making
broke.
a
I'm
3D
broke.
game
I'm
in
broke.
just
I'm
one
broke. I'm broke.
hour,
I'm broke.
but all the 3D assets.
I'm broke. I know
Exists
I'm
if it's
broke.
being perceived. For example, if you sit on a chair and stand up without looking at the chair has ceased to exist. Quantum immortality. Quantum immortality is a thought experiment stemming from the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics. This theory suggests that a conscious being cannot experience their own death because there exist alternate realities where they continue to survive. The core concept proposes that every decision or event creates multiple branches of reality.
That would be cool if that was real. Like, one version of me died, and now I have different realities to go inside of different paths.
Life-threatening situations, there will always be at least one version of reality where the individual survives. Therefore, when faced with danger, the individual's consciousness only perceives outcomes in which they remain alive. As a result, quantum immortality implies that individuals would perceive themselves as immortal as they can never experience their own death. Philosophical zombies.
Well, whoever thinks like that is kind of slow. Because I think even if you don't, even if you do think like that, people die every day. So now of course you're gonna think best of yourself to what to do in the situation. But if you still die, it really doesn't matter because you're dead.
Philosophical zombies are hypothetical beings that look and act like humans, but lack conscious experience. These beings behave exactly as humans do, but they have no inner life, no subjective feelings or thoughts. The thought experiment challenges materialism, which holds that consciousness can be fully explained by physical processes in the brain. If it's possible to imagine a being that is physically identical to a human but lacks consciousness, then consciousness might not be fully explained by physical states. Zeno's paradoxes. Zeno's paradoxes are a set of thought experiments from the Greek philosopher Zeno, who used them to argue that motion is impossible, or at least not what it seems. The most famous paradox is Achilles and the tortoise, which highlights the problems that come up when we think about dividing things into infinitely small parts. In this example, Achilles, a fast runner, is racing a tortoise, which is much slower. To make it fair, the tortoise starts ahead. Zeno argued that Achilles can never actually catch up to the tortoise because every time he reaches the point where the tortoise has moved a little bit further ahead. Imagine walking towards a destination. To reach it, you'd first have to walk halfway there, and to walk halfway there, you'd first have to walk a quarter of the way there, and so on, creating an infinite number of steps and causing you not to be able to reach your destination. Problem of induction. The problem of induction, introduced by David Hume, questions how we can justify our belief that the future will resemble the past. For example, we expect the sun to rise tomorrow because it has risen every day before. However, Hume pointed out that there's no logical guarantee this will always happen. Just because something has occurred many times doesn't mean it will continue to do so. Any justification.
Yeah, I understand that. Because every day is not gonna be the same day. Now, of course, you're gonna put on you're gonna wake up, put on some clothes, go to school, but every day you're not gonna put on the same type of clothes to go to school, unless you're like broke. Now that's guaranteed, but you're not gonna go outside and do the same thing. You're gonna walk different. Well, no, you're not gonna walk different, but you're probably gonna put on something new. You're probably gonna, you know, probably gonna go to school, have different classes, have different subjects. Just because something happened one day doesn't mean it's gonna happen the other way. Like the other day, like you. That's what something with me. I think with me, I expect something new to happen every single day, and I expect me to like I don't know something about me like recently for the past year or so now I've been like not like a year. I'm gonna say like I'll say like 2 months, 3 months. Recently I've been like thinking like any day like I could just go out die. Now of course I don't want to. Of course I'm not gonna deliberately do myself like that, like do it or just like but like I know that like it's not like everything anything that comes naturally to me, it's not my fault that I kicked the bucket or I did this. Because if an asteroid comes down, it's not my fault that I did this. It's not actually no, it's not nobody's fault. It's the natural way of events. This was just my time. You know what I'm saying? If I get pulled up on by guys that told me to run my pockets, I run my pockets and they shoot me anyway. That's not my fault. I couldn't do nothing about that. Of course I could run, but it would just feed the inevitable. Because at the end of the day, everybody has to go out. So I'm not really tripping over it because at the end of the day, even if I do become sad for the last seconds of my life, I couldn't do nothing like to I couldn't do nothing to like how should I say this? Not forward my life, but like I couldn't do nothing to like I just literally couldn't do nothing like that's just a natural way of events. You know, and I think that's for a lot of people. A lot of people like me think like that. You know, cause like I've been thinking like, what if I don't make it in 20 years? What if I don't make it in 30 years? You know, now of course I want to, 100%. I want to like live as long as I could, but if something happens, and I don't, and it's just like the natural way of events. Then what can I do about it? Like I can't do nothing. Either way, even if it's not a natural way of event of me dying, or if I do something stupid, either way, we all have to die one day. So it's kind of like, yeah. So when it comes to like dying and stuff, I don't want to die, but it's like I'm going to one day, cause everybody has to die one day. You know, so I'm gonna live my life the best that I can, and right now I'm living my life the best I can, streaming to y'all, even though nobody's listening to this, which is fine. You know, that's probably not going to be the case in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, you know, but even if I don't, you know, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to, you know, even if, you know what I'm saying? Like, which it is, but even if that doesn't happen, at least, like, I did something that I really wanted to do. I tried a new experience. You know, just like I tried new sports. I played football, wrestling, and boxing. Best experiences of my life. You know, of course I want to travel. I want to go around the world. But I can't tell the future, so it's kind of like I can't tell the future. So I don't know what holds next for me in my life. Of course I want to do different things, but I don't know if I can do those different things. Now, of course, I think everybody can do what they want to do in life. But when it's time for you to go, it's time for you to go. That's just how it is. Sad but true.
Justification for this assumption relies on past experiences, which is circular reasoning. If we say that we trust induction because it has worked in the past, we are using induction to justify induction. This means that our reliance on patterns in the world is based more on habit than on solid logical grounds. The experience machine. The experience machine is a thought experiment proposed by philosopher Robert Nozick to challenge the idea that pleasure and happiness are the only things that matter in life. In this scenario, imagine a machine that can provide you with any experience.
What?
Proposed by philosopher Robert Nozick to challenge the idea that pleasure and happiness are the only things that matter in life.
Nah. Pleasure and happiness are the only thing that matter in life. Nah, cause if every day is happy, then if every day is a good day, well, I think I don't think he's saying what I'm saying, but I'm just saying like if every day is a good day, are you really having a good day? Yes, I did get that. I did get that from somewhere. Don't worry where I get that, bro. I know it sounds corny, but come on, you know. So of course I want to feel pleasure and happiness. I think everybody wants to feel happy in what they're doing or how they're doing something. But you know, everybody deserves that too. But if it just like it's just like if I feel happy every single day, it's like ew. Like I want to feel something else. You know what I mean? So,
In this scenario, imagine a machine that can provide you with any experience you desire. You could feel immense joy, love, success, or any other pleasurable sensation, all while being completely unaware that these
You don't know what an
oh
AI
my
work
God,
management
I'm
platform
broke. I
is?
know I'm broke. I know I'm
Yikes.
broke. I know
Here's
I'm broke.
three
I'm
new
broke.
AI-powered
Broke.
experiences are simulated. Nozick asks whether you would choose to plug into this machine for the rest of your life. Many people intuitively reject the idea of living in the experience machine, preferring real life with its struggles and hardships over an artificial existence filled with pleasure. This rejection suggests that there are values beyond mere pleasure.
So Tsukuyomi. So infinite Tsukuyomi. W's. Yo. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I know nobody's gonna listen to this. But y'all remember, okay, I'm a big anime fan. I haven't told y'all yet, but I'm gonna tell y'all now, like I'm a big anime fan. Like I literally watch everything. Like everything anime wise, I watched it, or I'm going to watch it, or I've heard of it. So when it comes to anime, you guys come to me, you know, if you guys come at all. But yeah, so hey, you guys, hey, you know what I mean? Like, guys come to me about anything anime wise. But, why did I even get to the conversation about anime? I don't know. I'm chatting.
Pleasure, such as authenticity, relationships, and the pursuit of genuine achievements. Moral anti-realism. Moral anti-realism is the philosophical view that there are no objective moral truths or values independent of human beliefs and opinions. According to this perspective, moral statements do not describe facts about the world, but are instead expressions of our attitudes or preferences. For example, if someone says, killing people is wrong, a moral anti-realist would argue that this statement doesn't reflect an absolute truth. Instead,
That is, you know, I don't follow that right there. When somebody says killing is wrong, I say, well, that's what we were taught, but it's not, sadly. Now, unmorally killing is wrong, yes. I think nobody should die at all in this world. But, like, I'm not gonna lie, if you want to be honest, I'm gonna say this for as long as I'm streaming, as long as you guys hear me. I think everybody on this earth is a murderer. Everybody on this earth is a murderer, bro. Like, we all murdered a creature before, whether it's an ant, cockroach, or we either seen like murder from any creature. Now, of course, that's food. We have to live, but that's just the gruesome life. Like, the world is evil. Like, what can we do? Like, it's not like we can just live without eating. Like, now, if there was a way like where we can live without eating, that would be good. But even then, there are still messed up people out there that will find a way to kill. You know what I mean? Kill animals and eat them, and then kill us, and then like, you know, like I would love a world without any guns, no violence, no nothing. But I just know that will never be true. Like, you can ban guns from Earth, like you can ban guns from America, right? You can ban guns from America. Somebody's gonna, since the laws of physics where guns were made, somebody is going to learn how to make guns, not to protect themselves, but to harm other people. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, this is going to be more convincing to harm other people. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's like, the world is just messed up. The world is just so messed up. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't know. Like, Earth is just weird. Like, the world is just messed up either way. Now, of course, like, you could say, like, killing people is wrong. Back to the main topic. Killing people is wrong, yes. But if you want to be real, a lot of things are wrong in this world, and it damn near never gets corrected. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Donald Trump is still the president, and he was on the Epstein files, and the Epstein files had so much gruesome stuff. Like, do you think that's morally right? But is he still the president? Yes. So a lot of things are not morally right to do, but it still gets done. So it's like, what can we do about it? And I'm not gonna lie, if you talk about morally right, killing is bad and good, because I think without, yeah, I don't know if he's talking about killing humans. I think he said killing humans. Killing humans is bad, even though it's still gonna get done. But I think killing somebody for a reason or objective or something that he has done to affect you isn't, in a way. Because I will believe this: taking no human's life is acceptable, but hurting somebody is acceptable if they disrespected you in any way that you didn't do to them. If that makes sense. I don't know. But that's just my point of view.
It expresses a social consensus or a personal belief. The idea is that actions like killing are not inherently good or bad. Rather,
Exactly.
we label them as such.
Exactly.
Based on cultural norms, societal agreements, or individual feelings. The paradox.
Vibe coders, ready to build more? Meet base 44.
Of tolerance.
Or like how no. Ooh, I don't know if I want to say this. No, I'm not gonna say this.
The paradox of tolerance, created by philosopher Karl Popper, examines the limits of a tolerant society. Popper argues that a truly tolerant society should not tolerate intolerance, because if a society extends tolerance to those who are intolerant, it risks allowing intolerant groups to gain power and suppress the very freedoms that enable a tolerant environment. For example, if a tolerant society allows hateful ideologies to flourish, those ideologies could undermine the rights and freedoms of others, which creates a dilemma. If a society tolerates all viewpoints, including those that advocate for intolerance or violence, it may ultimately lead to the destruction of tolerance itself. Popper suggests that in order to maintain a tolerant society, it is necessary to take a stand against intolerant beliefs and actions, even if this means limiting the freedom of those who follow them. The knowledge argument. The knowledge argument, often illustrated by the thought experiment known as Mary's Room, was proposed by philosopher Frank Jackson, who created a scenario in which a girl named Mary is a brilliant neuroscientist who knows everything there is to know about the physical aspects of color, but she lives in a black and white room and has never experienced color herself. One day, Mary leaves her room and sees a red apple for the first time. The knowledge argument poses the question, does Mary learn something new about color when she sees the apple? Jackson argues that she does, because although Mary had all the scientific knowledge about how color perception works, her experience of seeing color for the first time provides her with new...
Oh, okay, so that's like hearing about something and seeing, like hearing about something, but never seeing it in real life. Like, let's put this in a case. Like me. No, I'm gonna say something else. I don't want to say this. Like, let's say, dang, like me seeing like a country that I've never went to, and then finally going to it and seeing it another way. You know, like I'm never. Okay. I'm gonna tell you guys this. I never went out of the state of Florida. I only went to Haiti for like a good. I only went to like Haiti, and that was out of the country. I never went out of the state of Florida. I never saw Georgia. I haven't even went out of South Florida. I'm not gonna lie to you. I never went out of South Florida, so I never went anywhere. I never saw anywhere. I never did none of that. Sadly, you know what I mean. So, I don't know what those places are like. Of course, I have rumors. I seen things online, but like I don't have real opinions about them.
Information that she could not have known while confined to the black and white room. This thought experiment suggests that there are non-physical aspects of knowledge, specifically the subjective experiences of perception. The infinite monkey theory.
Yeah, exactly. Like people online, like this DDG and XQC beef. Yo, shout out to DDG and XQC. Go to YouTube and Twitch. But I'm gonna have to expose something real quick, even though nobody's watching. Like, what beef they got going on? You know, I'm not gonna lie, they've been talking crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but they both met each other. But I believe like I can go off of like internet and say, oh yeah, I don't like this person, but I can never like hate somebody off of the internet because I don't know them. Like, I don't know them. I never saw them in real life, and I don't even put that into perspective. I can say somebody's weird, and I can say, oh no, I don't like the way he talks. I don't like, but I would never say I don't like the individual, because I will never say like, oh yeah, this person's this person's that, because I don't know them. Now, of course, I can say off of the things that I'm seeing, like, yeah, he's very disrespectful. He's very weird. He's very weird because he's saying the N-word and he's white, and he knows that it's disrespectful to black people. He's very weird for, you know, doing a lot of different things. I'm not talking about one individual person. Like, he's very weird for only flashing money and stuff. But I'm not going to say he's very weird. I'm going to say the things that he does is weird. I'm not going to say him. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know him as a person. Like, let's take Clav as an example. I don't like Clav. Well, I'm not going to say I don't like him, but I don't like the way he moves online. You know, like, if I'm in South Florida, I think he's in Miami. If I ever got to meet him one day and I dap him up, and he doesn't scream the hard R in my face or calls me nigga, like calls me a nigga, then of course I'm gonna come to it and I'm gonna be like, dang, bro, like you cool as shit. Like he's a cool ass dude, and you know, like I hang out with him and I like we kick it back and you know we talk and like and he's like off camera like he's a cool dude. I'm gonna say it, but the way that he portrays himself on the internet is very disrespectful to my people and like not even just disrespectful to my people. He disrespected my people. He's a disrespect to himself by hurting himself to make himself look better for other people. You know what I'm saying? Cause I believe in self-love. I love the way I look, baby. I'm not gonna say I'm the most handsome man alive. Y'all can look at my PFP. Hey, that's far from the case, but I'm gonna say this: I love myself. I love the way I look. You know what I'm saying? And if it makes me look any other way, now of course hygiene is a big process. I think I should get myself right just for my own benefits, like working out and skincare and healthcare. But I'm never going. I don't ever want to change myself for nobody. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever want to change myself for nobody. Nothing. You know. But you know what I'm saying? I think that's just my opinion, though. Well, let's get on to the video.
The infinite monkey theorem is a thought experiment that suggests that given an infinite amount of time, a monkey randomly pressing keys on a typewriter or keyboard would eventually type out any given text, such as the complete works of William Shakespeare, helping to understand how long infinity really is. If you want to discuss this video or suggest an idea for the next one,
W's WVid by my guy, the Paint Explainer. W's